Hi, I'm Lee Pickens with Super-Sod. In one of our previous videos, we looked at starting a new tall fescue lawn from scratch by seeding into a bare seedbed. Today, we're going to look at overseeding an existing tall fescue lawn. Now, tall fescue as a variety is a cool season grass, and therefore it tends to do best or thrive in the cooler parts of the year, typically early spring and even late fall. What most homeowners find is that after the summer, their tall fescue lawns have thinned out some or may even have some bare spots in certain areas. Therefore, we recommend overseeding your tall fescue lawn in the fall, typically during the months of September or early October. Now, the one thing you'll want to remember if you are planning on doing this is that you shouldn't put out any pre-emergents prior to seeding. Pre-emergents are designed to prevent weed seeds from germinating, but they'll also prevent grass seed from germinating. So again, if you're planning on overseeding your tall fescue lawn in September or October, don't put out any pre-emergents late in the summer prior to seeding. Before planting any grass seed, it's always a wise decision to take a soil sample of the area that we're going to be seeding into. This will help us identify the pH level of the soil as well as whether any additional nutrients needed to be added. Now, we took a soil sample from this lawn several weeks ago, and the results have indicated that the soil pH in one area is a little bit low, so we'll be adding lime in that area to raise the pH and give us the best opportunity for our seed to germinate and do very well. The entire lawn actually needs some additional nutrients, some nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now, we could add these by putting out a blended fertilizer or by using an organic compost product. Today, we're actually going to be using our organic humus compost product called Soil Cube to add back these nutrients. Before actually planting our grass seed, there's a few things we want to do to help with this process. The first thing we're going to do today is mow the lawn. Now, mowing the lawn will actually help in two different ways. The first way is that as we mow, of course, we're taking off the tips of the leaf blades. We're actually removing some of the excess vegetation, and therefore, when we come back and aerate, it's going to be easier to probe deeper into the soil and get closer to the root zone, and that's what we're trying to do. Also, the shorter, smaller leaf blades will allow the grass seed, once we start to spread that, to more readily reach the soil. And that will enhance the soil contact, which will improve the germination. Now that we've finished mowing the lawn, we want to rake up any clumps of grass or dead thatching material that may have been left behind. It's also a good time to remove any sticks, stones, or other debris that may hinder the seeding process. And while you're doing this, you may want to check for any high points or depressions and possibly level those areas out to provide a smooth and level surface for our seeding. As we mentioned before, aerating is a very important part of the process in preparing your lawn for overseeding. Aerating is basically the process of removing small plugs or pores from the existing lawn. This will help in several ways. It actually produces a small pocket which allows water, nutrients, and even air to get closer to the root system. In addition, it will help with compaction in reducing the compaction in the lawn, making it looser, and therefore the roots can grow more easily and deeply into the soil. Remember, the deeper and more mature root system that a plant has, the healthier it's going to be. So to have a healthy lawn, we want to make sure that we start with a healthy soil. Now, as we begin to aerate, remember, this is on existing lawns. Newly laid sod, you probably would want to remove this step from the process. However, as we go through, and you'll see as we're aerating, we're also going to move in a grid-like pattern to ensure complete coverage. We'll be going north-south for most of the time, and then we'll come back over the entire area in an east-west direction as well. As we mentioned earlier, we have a small area in the lawn where the pH is fairly low. We noticed that from our soil analysis. So to raise the pH, to correct that, we're actually going to add some lime in this area. This will allow the seed to germinate better and to provide a healthier environment for the plant. Well, we finally reached the point where we can begin planting our Tall Fescue seed. But before we do, remember, it's very important to use a quality seed product when you're overseeding your existing lawn. At Super-Sod, we sell only certified blue tag Tall Fescue seed, which is 100% weed-free. Using an inferior seed product can introduce foreign weed seeds into your lawn, and you want to eliminate that whenever possible. Today, we're actually going to be using a handheld spreader to cast our seed. Now, we encourage using a handheld spreader because we believe it gives us more control over exactly where and how much seed we put out in a particular area. There's a variety of handheld spreaders on the market. You want to make sure that you follow the instructions for your particular model correctly and calibrate it correctly. Calibrating it correctly will ensure that you're putting out seed at the correct rate. In addition, we're going to plant our seed in a grid-like pattern, just as we did when we were aerating. We'll actually use half of the seed and march in a north-south direction, and then we'll use the remaining half of the seed marching and planting in an east-west direction. This will ensure complete coverage over the entire area. Now that we've planted our seed, you may have heard or even seen people put out a layer of wheat straw over that seed. We would actually discourage you from doing that. Remember, anytime we bring in wheat straw, it's possible to introduce foreign weed seeds into the area, and we want to eliminate that possibility. So instead, we're actually going to mulch the entire lawn with a 1/4-inch layer of our soil cube compost. By doing so, we'll lightly cover the seed, allowing the seed to retain the moisture that it needs for its enhanced germination possibilities. Adding a light but even layer of our soil cube compost products will actually do several positive things for us. For one, it will actually add some nutrients back into the soil and therefore will act as your first fertilizer application for the fall. In addition, it adds beneficial bacteria and, as an amendment, will help to improve your soil structure. It also helps to suppress fungal activity, which is common in many fescue lawns. We're going to be using a compost spreader to put out our soil cube compost. Doing so will enable us to put out a light but very even and consistent layer throughout the entire lawn. And as we roll over the lawn with the spreader, we'll also be pressing the seed lightly into the soil, creating that soil contact that we're looking for, which should help with seed germination. Well, I think we've said this at the end of every sod and seed video that we've made, but I'm going to repeat this point because it's so important. Watering and correctly doing so after you've planted your seed during the first 2 weeks to keep your soil constantly moist is absolutely critical for your seed to germinate properly and eventually develop into the lawn that you're looking for. During those first 2 weeks, you'll probably water once or twice daily on a cool season grass like fescue, but you'll want to take notice of the temperatures that you're having and the rainfall to make sure, again, that you keep that soil constantly moist. After the seeds have germinated, you'll be able to cut back on your watering frequency. But again, the first 2 weeks, keep your soil constantly moist, allowing those seeds to germinate. Thanks for watching this video. I hope as you prepare to overseed your existing Tall Fescue lawn, you found this to be helpful. For more information on growing and maintaining a healthy lawn, visit us at supersod.com. And thanks again for watching.